Gang, 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 gang. Gang, 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 gang.
Welcome to New Horizons. My name is Rupert Maskell and I'm your host for this edition. New Horizons every week presents a series of programs on individuals, older people, who are making a significant difference in the lives of others. They go from Kailicha all the way to the leafy suburbs of the Cape southern suburbs and have something interesting to present every week. And I know you'll find this week no exception. We also present a review of services and opportunities for older people so that you can make the best of your retirement years. So stay with us as we move on now towards Vision Quest, our first segment, which features the work of Judy Bekker, a Fish Hoek resident who has developed this program over the years to show people, to assist people in how to find their own vision. This is not about somebody else's vision, this is our vision. And we all have visions for our own lives. This program helps us to develop it through an extraordinary way of spending 3 days solo in the mountains, alone, just with water, and having the time and space to develop a greater vision of what our purpose is on Earth. I know you'll find this fascinating.
Whoa, ow, hey, ow.
We're sitting in the home of Judy Bekker, overlooking the bay, and was here with a specific purpose, Judy, of finding out about Vision Quest, because this has become something of a legend in Cape Town. And I want to know, first of all, how you discovered this.
Well, a long time ago, I think some 24 or 5 years ago, I was turning 40 and quite burnt out, having worked very hard. And I came upon this program being offered in America and felt that's exactly what I need. I wanted some solo time to reflect on next steps, so I went to California.
Where you quested for your vision, is that right?
I did, and part of my vision was realizing that in fact I wanted to offer this work in South Africa. So I went back a year later for further training at the School of Lost Borders in California.
And there you found yourself in a way as well as a program.
Yes, indeed. I found out a lot about myself, not least of which was that I could live alone in a wild place.
It starts here in this home, then I know you go out into the mountains, and this is the part that everybody speaks about because it seems extremely adventurous and even a little bit dangerous.
It's edgy. And everyone comes with a little bit of fear because the notion of going to live alone in a mountainside with very little and to be on a fast, so there's lots of water drunk, but it's a fast, for 4 days and nights is quite a challenge.
So a 4-day fast, only water, is quite daunting for most of us. Plus you have the wild surround, maybe snakes, animals, all kinds of things. Doesn't that put the scriks up to people?
Yes, it does a bit, but actually it doesn't take long to realize that it's not a hostile environment. And the reason why we've come is what occupies our attention. Fasting cannot hurt the body unless there are medical reasons why you shouldn't. But people of all ages have taken this on as a challenge and a gift to themselves. Because how often do you have 4 days and nights to just be with yourself in silence?
I love something Lawrence van der Pas said about when you go into the wilderness, you're always being looked at by a snake, by a beetle, by a bird. You're never alone. And so you do have that comfort too, knowing you're surrounded by real life. And when you've done your 4 days, do most people come up with a clear vision of what their next step is in life?
Most people do, and it's always interesting to see who comes and why. And we have all age groups. The youngest person who's ever quested with us has been 17 years old, the oldest 78. So it's a question of timing in one's own life. What's the threshold that I'm crossing? Is it from one way of life into another? Am I about to retire? Is it a health matter? Is it becoming a parent? Everyone has a reason for coming, and depending on the strength of their intention, when they come down the mountain, they've got some of what they went looking for.
I like that about strength of intentions. It then determines what the effect or what the result will be. But I was also thinking of physical strength, because New Horizons program is particularly for older people. Is it physically demanding to the point that it would be tough to many people to do it?
No, an average level of health and fitness is required. We've actually had people in Zimbabwe. We had a woman who went out on crutches, and we helped her carry her backpack. So you are your own boundary. You go as far as you can go. It's not a huge amount of hiking. That's not the point. The mountains we go into have many lovely places you can make home, not far from our base camp. So it's not about how far you go or hike.
So having done the 4 days and nights in the wilderness on water, people must, I guess, they're staggering, feeling well exhausted. And what happens when they get back to the base camp?
We return to the city after we've broken the fast with the best fruit salad you've ever had in your life. And we return here, and the storytelling is what happens next. The old traditional saying goes, I go to the mountain to cry for a vision, to bring that vision back so that I and my people may live. And you bring your story back to your community, which is, in this case, the questing community. And there's a very particular process where each person tells the story of what happened to them in the mountain. It's very moving, it's very inspiring.
Imagine after those periods in the wilderness, the 4 days and nights, quite a lot of energy, quite a lot of emotion is stored up. And it must be a very powerful experience for people to give that into the group as their own experience and listen to everybody else's.
The witnessing aspect is extremely powerful. And the saying goes, where I am witnessed, I can never go back. And what I witness, I'm changed by. So it is a real connection again with the triumph of the human spirit, actually, to hear people's stories.
What range of people come to these Vision Quest programs? Are they mainly Cape Townians, mainly sort of middle years, or they come from other countries, different races, different religions?
We have had so many different nationalities, ages, cultures, religions, straight people, gay people. Anyone is welcome into this journey, and they make it their own. And that's the beauty of it. We are good and consistent guides, but each person does it for themselves, and that's the beauty.
That was lovely. Any last words you have now for us?
Yes, thank you for that. I'd like to speak a little about preparatory and lead-in time. We don't just have people come on board 1 week before a Vision Quest begins. So we meet people, we speak, we help them hone their intention, we give them a guidebook, and so that when the program begins, they've already been working it and are fully prepared. Our website, for those who might want it, www.rbanet.co.za.
Well, this has been a wonderful time with Judy. I wonder how many of you feel a stirring to fulfill your vision by questing for it. I do, and I just can't wait to one day to experience it myself. But thank you for being here. Thank you, Judy. What a pleasure. I think you'll agree that that was a fascinating program, and maybe some of you will get to do it sometime. We're now going to go to an ad break, and we'll be back in a short while, so stay with us. Welcome back from the break, everybody. Each week we compile a health or well-being insert for you. This week we're looking at the services of Unique Health, who provide a unique spectrum of home care nursing services. So let's now look at that.
Hello, Elise. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Elise Porter and I'm the Managing Director of Unique Health.
Elise, can you give us some background of Unique Health, the services that you offer here?
Thank you for inviting us on your show. Unique Health was established in 1998 and we offer healthcare services from care centres right through to home care, corporate wellness and occupational health.
So, Elise, can you give us background to Unique Health and the office and the services that you guys offer here?
Thank you for inviting us on your show. Unique was established in 1998, offering healthcare services from care centres to home care, wellness, occupational health, and as well as corporate wellness.
I understand your services also include disease management, corporate wellness, oxygen therapy management, and family planning. Can you please elaborate on that?
Unique Health offers a comprehensive range of services. Our aim is to keep a person as well as possible for as long as possible. We are proactive in the promotion of health, prevention of illness, and the management of chronic disease.
On the frail care side, you have 11 frail care facilities, with the latest being this one based here within the Evergreen Lifestyle Retirement Village here in Muizenberg, for which they provide frail care, including terminal care and respite care, which offers family or patient support in the short term, as well as post-surgery or accident rehabilitation. Can you speak more about that, please?
Yes, we deliver the services through our multidisciplinary team, which consists of nurses, our general practitioner, which is a doctor, a physiotherapist, occupational therapy, dietitian, social worker if need be.
Okay. Basically covered.
Yes.
So, is this the first project here in the Western Cape?
Unique Health was established our offices in the Western Cape in Bellville in 2011. And before we've opened the frail care, we've been offering services to medical health insurers, hospitals where we take patients home for home care, as well as medical administrators in managing the disease at home.
So what do the other services entail in Evergreen Villages?
We deliver services at Evergreen Villages. This is Dieprivier, Muizenberg, Lake Michelle, as well as Bergvliet. We provide 24-hour primary healthcare clinics to residents, and that'll be to your typical wound care. If a patient needs a nurse for daily assistance of living, personal hygiene, wound care, IV therapy, administration of medication, help where a resident might need any assistance.
So now, Elise, are your home-based services covered by medical aid?
Most of the medical procedures is covered by medical aid. The process is we ask for pre-authorization, as Unique has got a practice number. We request pre-authorization from the medical aid funder, and then according to if that is granted, we will place a nurse at a patient's home or either follow up with medical procedures, for instance your wound care or IV therapy or home ventilation, BCG treatments, all different kinds of procedures that a person could and is allowed to do at home.
So for those of us not familiar with medical terms such as BCG, home ventilation, IV therapy, and phlebotomy, what are those?
BCG is a treatment for prostate cancer. Home ventilation is assistance helping a patient breathe with a special machine that is mechanical ventilation. IV therapy is where a registered nurse would put up a drip to administer medication, for instance, antibiotics through the drip. And what was the last one is phlebotomy is taking of blood specimens for analysis in a pathology laboratory.
Big terms. So now, what hours are these services accessible? Is it a 24-hour or?
The hours is 24/7, day and night, when people should need help at home. We are available. It could be on an ad hoc basis, temporary or full-time.
Okay. With this use of technology for home-based patients, case management must have many advantages. What are those?
Yes, Unique Health uses software which is live. So what it means is a nurse could be with a patient and we would manage the patient in real time with the newest results that the other person could see, and by thus saving the patient cost, on any medical interventions that might be needed. So it's a good form of prevention as well as the management of disease.
So now, Elise, before we close off, are there any last words you'd like to share with us?
Well, I feel that Unique is very privileged in managing such a beautiful facility here in Muizenberg, and we just hope that we could admit quite a few patients and take care of them like it would be their own home.
Elise, thank you for your time and giving us this opportunity to come and visit your home, basically.
Thank you.
That was a pretty interesting topic, I'm sure you'll agree. Now we're going for an ad break and we'll be back with you presently. Welcome back. Now we're going to have a look at the power that music and movement have on the human body. We're all designed to move, and Shumi is going to show us some movements that will help us to optimize the impact on our bodies. So let's go to Shumi.
Shumi, please tell us, what is Danza?
Danza is actually a combination of music and movement, which helps you to get in touch with yourself, and your body. And through that, it also brings through emotion, whatever kind of emotion it is. It could be joy, it could be anything. But through all of that, it's a way of connecting with your life and a way of connecting with yourself.
Oh, I think sounds good. And how helpful is music and movement for maintaining health and well-being, in particular in our senior years, when we're older? How does it help?
It's actually quite interesting because a lot of people think dance, is very, very complicated. It isn't, actually. Biodanza is all about movement. And when you move, it's an introduction for you to a different way of being in the world. It introduces you to different ways of being in the world that you never knew were possible. And so if we say walk to music, automatically your way of being changes into something else that you never thought you had. And so movement is really that invitation for you to look at life differently and to live life differently. And that really does increase your sense of well-being with yourself, because you connect with a lot of joy through your movements. And so that is really good for you.
So would you say it's more spiritual than physical?
It's both. It's both. We are using movement for you to be able to connect. Yes. With whether it's spiritual or whatever. I hesitate to use the word spiritual. I think it's a re-education, a relearning of how we live our lives.
Okay. And what is your background? What is your background experience?
With Biodanza?
With Biodanza,
yes.
Context.
Yes, I'm a trained Biodanza facilitator. I was trained here in Cape Town, and then for 5 years I facilitated a weekly class here in Cape Town, and then I decided that I wanted to go further with Biodanza and become a teacher of facilitators, a trainer of future facilitators of biodanza. And so I trained in Brazil and in Argentina to become a biodanza didactic teacher. And now what I now offer is I offer biodanza within organizational context, whether it's education, with schools, with NGOs, with companies. I'm finding my niche in there.
Okay, you're obviously a creative person. So what is your role at Cape Craft and Design Institute?
Yes, in my other life, I'm actually a writer. I'm a creative writer. I love writing. It's another way of communication. I'm a communications officer. And so I work here at the Cape Craft and Design Institute. And my job is to tell the stories of the work that the CCDI does, that the Cape Craft and Design Institute does, which is helping creative entrepreneurs to run their businesses successfully.
Okay, that's good. And would you be prepared to give classes like in other areas, say on Saturdays?
Yes, we tend to do that. There's quite a number of us biodanza facilitators in South Africa. And so offering Saturday workshops is something that we like to do, because some people cannot come and move and dance in the evenings or during the week. And so the odd Saturday morning workshop of an hour to two is what we call a journey, and yeah, that would be really exciting.
So you haven't tried to actually come up with it, or maybe are you guys still thinking about it?
Oh, I work. If somebody phones me and says, "Would you, can you come and do a workshop?" Yes, then we'll do that. That is how I that is how I work. And also, just to say that with biodanza, there are no steps to learn. There is no choreography. We don't tell you what to do. So it's for people of all ages, at all level of fitness. We don't say you must be fit. It's not a fitness program. And so it's all about movement full of meaning. So whether it's a big movement or just a small thing, if it makes you feel something, if it creates something in you, that's all you need. That's the importance of movement.
Okay, and how do people contact you?
They can contact me either here at the Cape Craft and Design Institute, or I can give you my contact details, and then you can. I'm not sure how you're going to do this.
They can always contact you here.
They can always contact me here at the Cape Craft and Design Institute, and then they will find me. I can also give you. We also have a website, the Biodanza Cape Town website, and my profile is there, and all my contact details are there.
Okay, then thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And that was the last question.
Yeah.
Okay, then thank you so much for that interview. That was very informative.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I feel sure that's got us all moving, and let's stay with that. For now, that's the end of our show. Don't forget you can catch us on the social media page. Leave us feedback on your thoughts about today's show. And remember that you're never too old to make a difference or to move. Till next week, take care.
Yeah, 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 yeah.